Hi and welcome back to another episode of Ronnie's vlog. Today I'm out with my son and he's riding my old bike Buzby, the Yamaha RXS100. I'll tell you a bit more about Buzby because she's a very special bike. We're gonna ride out and I'm gonna keep switching between the views of Kieran on Buzby and me on Ronnie as we go. So although we're both learners, I've been riding for a lot longer. I've got almost 7 years experience under my belt. 2 of those years have been in the past 2 years, the rest were in my youth when I was a teenager. So not really a learner. Kieran just passed his CBT back in October last year, so he's only been riding a few months. And he's doing really well for somebody who hasn't ridden for very long. And also he's on my temperamental Buzby, who can be a bit of a pain sometimes, and she was a bit of a pain on this journey. Now at first I used to ride behind Kieran, but now he's starting to get to be able to ride quite well by himself. I don't have a problem with riding ahead. I always try to keep him in my rear view mirror. But looking at the footage, I don't realise how sometimes I go a bit too far ahead of him, and sometimes you'll see that you can't see me in view. It's also quite amusing to watch myself from behind to check that I'm getting my positioning right and my corners right. It's good to look back and be able to critique myself so that when I finally do my mods this year, that hopefully I will pass. Now Buzby is a very special bike. She was the first bike I ever rode on. Started off pillion. I did practice on her a couple of times and fell off a couple of times before I done my very first CBT back in 1997. She belonged to my best friend, who was a very special man who I talk about quite a bit. I've also written a couple of books about him, which I'll mention a bit later on. And Buzby features in those books. As I mentioned in the first vlog, the reason I got back into riding was because he died, and it kind of gave me the push I needed to get back on a bike. I always wanted to get back on a bike, but he left Buzby in my care for my son, so that gave me the push to think that I had to get back on a bike so that I could go out riding with Kieran once he took over the reins of Buzby. So he tends to ride Buzby a lot more than me because she's a bit more temperamental. I like having Ronnie, who is small, light and reliable, and I don't have to work so hard. And I think it's also quite good for Kieran to get some experience on a bike that is temperamental, so that when he eventually gets a bike that isn't as hard work, he will be quite fine. Buzby will never be sold. She may be temperamental, but she's never going anywhere. She's got far too many memories, including me doing ridiculous wheelies on Oliver's mount and all sorts of chaos. So we're going to continue along down the coast road. We're heading to the Lighthouse but I'm going to cut out quite a lot of that. And because the footage wasn't too good on the beehive last time, I am going to show the footage of the beehive. But I know you're probably getting sick of the Lighthouse and the beehive by now. So on my next vlog I might head down the time tunnel. I haven't done the time tunnel on Ronnie, and I haven't done the time tunnel since being back on the bike. I did do it quite a few times back when I used to ride in my teens, but not since we've put the new tunnel in, which will be quite amusing. And also maybe head towards town and try a few other local routes. And hopefully once lockdown eases and we can start going places, I might actually head up the coast to Amble and Anakin Sea Houses And in later vlogs I might show a bit more experience after my next CBT as I plan for my mods. I might even show some footage of me on my CBT if that's allowed, I don't know. We will see. Now I'm going to change overviews in a sec back to me because I don't really want you seeing my backside for the whole vlog. So I'm going to hand back over to my camera. Somebody commented, well, a few people commented on my last two videos saying that they found it difficult to watch with the speed being increased. So this time I've kept the speed normal, so this is the normal footage. I haven't increased the speed at all. That means that it's a little bit longer, so, but hopefully you'll enjoy that anyway. It is another beautiful day. You can tell that spring is definitely in the air, and warmer, nicer days are coming, so I can guess I'm probably going to be out on my bike a lot more. I don't mind riding in all weather, but there's something different about riding on a beautiful day where the sun is shining and blue skies overhead. Well, here we are back at the Lighthouse, looking through Kieran's cam on his helmet and Buzby, after just having a bite to eat and talking to some of the other bikers. It was quite good to actually see some others with some little groms, a bit like Ronnie, which have got quite cute bikes. There's a lovely little green one there. So we're going to head along the beehive. I'm going to start by using the view from Kieran's cam and then switch over to mine, which I've got mounted on my handlebars today instead of my helmet. So you get to see a good view of Buzby from Kieran's camera helmet, whereas my camera is just basically showing what's ahead of me. So you can see Ronnie there as I'm sat waiting. As you can see, Buzby is so old that she needs a kickstart, and sometimes she needs a good few kicks, and even sometimes a pat on the fuel tank to give her a telling off before she'll start. But she is my baby, and always will be. So heading back onto the beehive now, and hopefully this time you'll get a much better view of the beehive rather than just the road like on the last video. Obviously we're starting off on Kieran's cam. The sun is quite blinding and he's looking down quite a bit, so in a few moments I'm going to switch over to my camera, which is on the handlebars, so that way you'll get to see a much better view of the beehive. As you can see, I'm quite far ahead at the minute. I keep leaving him too far behind. I should really slow down a bit and keep him a bit nearer, but I'm sure he can handle himself. It may be a lot more challenging, but I really like riding at dusk, especially riding into the sunset. It can be blinding, but the views are amazing, and especially on the beehive, riding west into the sunset is just perfect. So we've jumped ahead to the 1st of March 2021, day of the book release of Nobody's Hero Part 2, A Time for Love. If you haven't already read Part 1, go and read it. This is Ron, my best friend, and the book is mainly about him. Now, one place that I always head at least kind of once every week or every other week is to go and see his grave, and today being the book release, it felt right to go and visit. He is somebody extremely special. I wouldn't be riding a motorbike if it wasn't for him. I probably wouldn't be alive if it wasn't for him. He saved my life in so many ways. Basically read the books and you'll find out why this man is such an amazing guy. So we're just heading along into the graveyard at North Shields just to go and visit him. We're heading back home now. Probably have a bottle of wine when I get home once I put the bike away to celebrate. It's a very emotional day, but whenever I ride, I know I've always got him with me. He's always by my side. I'm sure he's riding alongside me. We always say never ride faster than your guardian angel. I think basically that means I can go at whatever speed I want, because he quite regularly would go at ridiculous speeds. We once went from Scarborough to Newcastle on his TDM, his TDM 900, and we never went under 110 mile an hour, and we got from Scarborough to Newcastle in under an hour, which basically my husband went completely nuts. I did try to tell him to keep that to the racetracks, which he did most of the time, but we were both wild and young. I'm a much better, safer rider now. I'm not as crazy as what I used to be, but those wild memories are always there, and whenever I'm on my bike, I remember them and I remember him, so I know he's always with me.